Hey guys, my name is Cesar Garcia, and today I'll be sharing with you an article entitled European Car Sales Fall the Most in Decades, Signaling Slump. Now, this article was originally written by Jack Ewing for the New York Times. All information you will see in this presentation was taken from this article. The outbreak of COVID-19 has created a bleak economic environment and thrown a huge wrench in global operations, and some of the biggest automakers in the world are taking significant hits. In his article, Ewing breaks down the statistics and raises questions for us to examine. Let's get started. So, as I mentioned, the current economic environment is bleak, and auto sales in Europe have plummeted greatly in a very short time. Last month in March, European car sales reached their lowest point in 3 decades. Registrations of new vehicles in Europe fell by over 50%, going from 1.3 million to 570,000 in just 1 year. The steepest drops are occurring in Italy, which is not surprising considering that Italy is one of the countries that has been hit the hardest by the outbreak. The country saw an 85% drop in new car sales. Here you can see stats for individual manufacturers. Fiat Chrysler, which does most of its business in Italy, took a 77% hit in sales, while PSA dropped 68%. BMW, Daimler, the manufacturer of Mercedes-Benz, and Volkswagen all did somewhat better with losses of under 50%. So, what hope does the European auto industry have for survival? Several automakers have already unveiled plans to resume business operations and return to normal. Volkswagen will be reopening factories in Zwickau and Bratislava on April 20th, with plans to continue reopening factories through the month of May. Volvo will also be reopening factories and offices on the same day. Joining these companies is Daimler, which will reopen 3 of its German factories for 1 shift per day. BMW has begun preparations to reopen factories, but it does not plan to do so until after April. These manufacturers are taking extra precautions to protect their employees. Masks and protective clothing will be provided for all workers, who will be separated from each other by physical distance and plastic barriers. Companies will be staggering shifts out to avoid having too many employees working at once. Employees will also be offered the opportunity to submit to voluntary health checks. In examining the effects of COVID-19 on the economy, there are several implications to consider. Firstly, how will these impacted automakers recover from the steep losses they have incurred? The automakers that have been hardest hit were already struggling to make sales before the outbreak even occurred, and the virus has only left them in an even more precarious financial state. Drops in sales appear to be positively correlated with infection rates in each country, as we could see from the connection between Italy and Fiat Chrysler. Secondly, how will European countries bounce back economically? Auto sales are significant in the European economy, with the German economy in particular being hugely dependent on the auto industry. Most auto factory workers have been furloughed, and not all of these furloughs will be ending on April 20th. The high number of furloughs raises a third question. How eager will people be to spend money on cars after quarantine is lifted? Shoppers will find themselves greatly financially weakened after quarantine due to income loss from furloughs, terminations, and lessened hours. Currently, there is very low demand for vehicles since people are largely unable to travel. The answers to these questions will only be revealed with time. Here I have included the link to the article for your reference. Thank you so much for taking the time to view my presentation. I hope you and yours are staying safe. Good luck to all of you.